Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Eugene Anangwe. I'm the CEO and founder of East Africa Media Group. We do a lot of mentorship and training for media to just change the narrative about media in Rwanda and the region. I'll start first of all by saying thank you for the work you did and all the gallant soldiers to give us a country. I would like to move us away a bit from the DRC conversation and bring it back to 31 years ago. Before the liberation struggle, there was your personal story, the convictions, the thing that made you feel like I need to rise up and fight for my country. And Mr. President, I want to invite you to download the Untold, those moments that you remember today, and when you look back, you say, this was a worthwhile fight for my country. Maybe let's start there, and then we can continue later.
Yeah, that's a bit complicated, but I'll try. At the beginning, when I was talking about this whole 31 years being a tough but enjoyable story, I meant the tough side was what was confronted and dealt with, being of such a magnitude that for the half-hearted, they would just collapse under the weight of it first day. But fortunately, we had many people who were up to the task and who were ready and able to give it all, because it meant everything to them. When something means everything to you, then you give everything to make sure it is in good hands. But it was tough. That one, no question, and no need to. There is no way of emphasizing it. The enjoyable part I'm talking about, even on the tough situation, is understanding the story itself, where you are coming from and where you are going, and then finding yourself in the middle of it, being one among many to be looked up to deal with such a tough travel, such a tough journey. It gives a sense of pride, inspiration, really something that is worth being associated with. And when you are there, but also you approach it with a sense that it doesn't end there. The story doesn't end there. What comes out in the end must reflect that difference between what you really fought against and what you are creating. They have to be different. You can't fight against a bad thing and end up with a bad thing yourself, because it would be such a waste of life, even in personal terms. So for me, personal, there are things I can explain, there are other things I can't explain. I cannot explain why in a situation like this that we can explain how, even if you explain the magnitude of it, and those many people I talked about who were ready to give all they had, and they did, many of them are no longer with us. But their names, their stories live on. Their bravery lives with us. But at the same time, I cannot explain why in that whole journey, one is no longer with us and the others are still with us. Yet all of us were exposed to the same danger. I don't think those who are still lucky like me to still be alive, I cannot account for why I'm still alive. I could have easily gone the way of the others who didn't make it. Therefore, it can't be, there is no one who can get praised for still being alive, because it has nothing to do with you. It just happened. Not because you are smarter or more brave, or no, just happened. So that one I can't account for, I can't explain. I can only explain what I do when I'm there. And in fact, some of those who sacrificed are no longer alive. We remember them, we honor them, we respect them for what they know they were, what we know they were associated with, or they did when they are still there. It is the same thing even when they are gone. Yes, these are the people we know because of those things they did. So for my personal stories, you can take it the way you want. Some of the things I'm not responsible for. But others I'm responsible for. Maybe those ones are the ones you can judge the way you want. So that's my personal story.
Thank you, Your Excellency. May we take a short break and come back for the second segment?
All right.
Thank you.